DDGs, district directors, chief directors, principals, educators, parents, learners, our top achievers, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, we are deeply humbled as a Department of Basic Education that we have honored our invitation to come here. I want to start our release of our results with this story. Here is a lady, 18-year-old, with no hope, and she said this to me. I knew I'll pass my Matric, but MEC, I didn't know whether I will find the funding that will assist us to go to university. Pheziwe Makelani knew she had to get distinctions in Matric because without a bursary, her future was dead. Today, many of our learners, including Fezile, are excited because they've performed beyond our expectations. She came from Eastern Cape, resided in Ekurhuleni. Because the parents could not afford a house, she decided to stay with a teacher. The teacher provided all the relevant support that she needed, including accommodation. As the Minister of Basic Education released the results yesterday, Pheziwe Makelani achieved 8 distinctions with no subject less than 90%. It is learners like Pheziwe Makelani that makes us proud. Because our commitment was one and it remains one. The only way to break the shackles of poverty is through education, education, education. We are humbled as a department that those that led the battle against gutter education in 1976, we can assure them that there's this generation of leaders will never disappoint them, and quality education will arrive in this country in our lifetime. We commit ourselves that the future for our children will not be compromised, that every child that enters our education space, this particular child must come out with a certificate. We are proud as this province that for the very, very first time in the history of our country, and for the very, very first time in the history of our province, we have managed to ensure that by the end of this month, 91,000 learners will have a certificate that says they've passed Matric. Never before have we reached that magical 90,000 mark. We are excited as a province that we come to the 2015 Matric pass rate knowing one thing and one thing only, that our learners must pass, but they must pass with the relevant support that will give them so that they can achieve their goals. We might have not met our aspirations that we set in 2014, but we came close and close to such an extent that even those that managed to occupy position 1 in the announcement of the Matric results, they know that we breathe heavily, and they know that they have to beat Gauteng for them to be the best. I know it's very difficult to the team that I led. I know it's very difficult to the HOD, the district directors. I know when we released the results to some of our principals and the district officials, it was as if someone has passed on in our family. This is because we always aim high as a province, and we want to congratulate the Western Cape Education Department for occupying position 1 temporarily, and want to warn them. We want to warn them, enjoy it while it lasts, because we are coming. The provincial pass rate in Matric in 2015 is 84%, 84.22%, while the performance is down with 0.47 on the 2014 performance. I remain convinced that we can do much as a province. Gauteng has once again this year achieved a significant milestone in respect of national performance, and we do have many reasons to celebrate with our learners and our educators. It must be noted that this is the second and larger group of learners compared to 2014 who were progressed without having grade 11 promotion to go through. It would be unwise to blame the underperformance in some of these subjects to these learners, as the minister has indicated last night, and we therefore want to thank these learners who have demonstrated that they are better off in the classroom than in the streets. Minister, be assured of our support with progress learners. We believe it's a phenomenon that we have to accept. We believe that we need to give them the second chance that they deserve. For those that don't know, these learners that failed grade 11, if we didn't progress them, as we are speaking to you now, they will either queue in for a social grant or be in a prison. We gave them a second chance, and majority of them, they've not only passed, but some of them have passed with distinctions, which simply means that we gave them a second chance. We also want to thank the minister for initiating the Second Chance program, because this program will award these learners an opportunity for them to further their studies, and for those that have failed to be given another chance. Minister, be assured of our support. The support we'll give to these learners, as well as the support that we'll provide that is needed during the year, so that these learners indeed must get a second chance. I held a discussion with our Honorable Premier and the MEC responsible for a TEP of 500,000 in the province, and we want to assure all those learners that failed Matric last year, 17,000 of them to be precise, all of them, as the provincial government, we are taking them to a program called TEP of 500,000. Within this particular program, they will be reskilled, be placed as interns in our government departments, and be given an opportunity for them to have a second chance in life. All the 17,000 learners that have failed. In Gauteng, we don't have a dustbin for failures. In Gauteng, we have opportunities for our young people. We want to give these young people an opportunity. We are also going to link these young people to various sector-based organizations, SETAs, so that these young people can be given an opportunity that will change their lifetime. We believe very strongly in Gauteng that we don't solve social problems through social grants. We solve social grants through education and skills development. And that is why we commit that these young people are going to be given an opportunity that will allow us. Let me come to the results, and I want to explain some of the key areas that we are proud of as Gauteng. In Gauteng, 14 of our 15 districts performed above 80% compared to the 13 districts in 2014. In the top five nationally, 3 of the districts that are in the top 5 come from Gauteng, and in the top 10, 7 of the districts come from Gauteng. So I want to congratulate Sedibeng East and take this opportunity to congratulate and say to the executive mayor of Sedibeng, thank you so much for providing the assistance and to ensure that Sedibeng occupies position 1. Sedibeng achieved 90.4 pass rate, and the second position goes to Gauteng West. And I want to congratulate Gauteng West for achieving second position at 90.15% as the second best district in the country. But let's congratulate Ekurhuleni South. Ekurhuleni South, that's our Katoras, Alberton area. The pass rate from this district rose from 79.7% in 2014 rate in 2014, and this is an increase of 3.5 And I want to congratulate the Executive Mayor of Ekurhuleni for the support that you always provide in that area. I'm going to suspend for now so that I'm not accused of being biased, that I come from this region as well. In Sedibeng West pass rate, it rose from 78.8 in 2014 to 82.1 in 2015, and this increase is a 3.4% increase, making the entire Sedibeng region the top performing region in Gauteng, and we want to congratulate them for this kind. We are all disappointed with one region. Because if this region indeed maintained their performance that we had last year, we would have not been congratulating other provinces for the inch advantage that they got out of us. But nevertheless, I have confidence on the district director of that district, and I'm hopeful that district will come back and it will ensure that it enters the class of 80% pass mark of all other districts. The only thing that makes it painful is that this district represents a strategic center in Gauteng, which is Soweto. And therefore, Johannesburg Central is the last performance, and we commit ourselves to give them all the necessary support that they need so that they can enter the league of 80% like any other province, any other district. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all our district officials, our subject advisors, our cluster head, our IDSOs, our school principals, our SMTs in various schools for this kind of performance. And we need to ensure as Gauteng that we maintain this performance beyond here. We want to assure you, Minister, as well, that our support, the support that we've demonstrated on districts, this support is going to be duplicated in our province and will give all the relevant support that is needed in all our provinces. Good people, there is a general agreement that our success rates in maths and science are still below the levels necessary to respond satisfactorily to our skills needs. We have dealt with our planned responses in this area and will be doing more to increase the success rate in these critical subjects. The maths pass at 69% this year is commendable. While it is a 0.3% increase from 2014, the numbers are exciting because they confirm our commitment to ensure that mathematics becomes the subject that we are going to support in this province. Honorable Premier, we have taken a decision as the province together with our principals and our subject advisors that by 2018, 80% of all our learners in Gauteng will take pure maths and 20% will only take maths literacy. This is our commitment to ensure that we provide all the relevant support that is needed. We have also taken a decision that we are proud of, and we started this process last year, that all our children in grade 3, grade 6, grade 9, and grade 11 will write a common examination so that we can determine the capacity and the capability to respond to the challenges of maths and science. And I'm proud to announce, Minister and Honorable Premier, that in 2015, for the very, very first time in the history of our province, all our children in grade 3, grade 6, grade 9, and grade 11 wrote a common examination that is adjudicated across the province for the very, very first time. So we are laying the foundation to ensure that we don't only concentrate in grade 12, but we build the foundation at grade 3, grade 6, grade 9, and grade 11. So, Minister, if they said they didn't write Anna, they wrote Anna at grade 3, grade 6, grade 9, and grade 11 in Gauteng in terms of the common examinations. The issue of language also is a very important element, and we want to thank the Minister for introducing African languages at grade 1, and we are committed as the province to ensure that our children are given the necessary support that they need. We are also encouraged that English as a first additional language is the subject with the largest number of registration, that is 73,000 learners. And this year, 99.6% of our learners ensured that they passed this subject, and this means that we are indeed paved to have our learners understanding various languages. We are, however, pleased as well to see the number of passes in indigenous languages, especially Zulu, Northern Sotho, Sixhosa, isiNdebele. This indicates that our children are indeed affirming the importance of all our languages. We are also excited with the number of girl children that are performing very well in terms of our gateway subject. And as a province, we want to congratulate our girl children, our boy children, to say that education is the only gateway that will give them a better choice in life. There is no way that they will get better things through other things. It's only through education that they can be better. And we discourage our children to involve themselves in wrong things, especially the abuse of alcohol, the abuse of drugs, and the indulgement in sexual activities. We want to encourage all our young people to take advantage of the programs that we've introduced as a provincial government in our municipalities so that they can be in a position to get opportunities that will make Gauteng a better province. With the introduction of the TMR program by our Premier, we've modernized all our schools in Gauteng. We are proud to stand in front of you to say there is no single township school in our province that is still using a chalkboard. The chalk, the duster, and the chalkboard are history in our schools in Gauteng. We are proud that this introduction has managed to support our learners that were in grade 12. And a disaster was looming. We had to retrain our teachers. We had to retrain all our learners. We have to remove the chalkboard. We have to remove textbooks in some instances. And the smart board in each and every classroom in our Matric classes. We basically changed the engine of a flying aeroplane while the aeroplane was on air. We are proud that of all the 38,000 bachelor passes, 17,000 of them comes from the township, which demonstrates that our investment was worth an investment. We are also proud that we are leading the country with 38,760 bachelor passes, which represent 26% of all bachelor passes in the country. This is higher than the 25% that we achieved last year. In Gauteng, just over 35.8% of learners who passed with bachelor passes have managed to ensure that they either are in the top echelons of our schools or they are coming from our township schools, making it possible for us to close the gap between the rich and the poor. We are proud as a Gauteng provincial government that there's no single school in Quintile 1. Quintile 1 is an economic categorization that represents the poorest of the poor in our province. So we are proud as the provincial government in Gauteng that there is no single school in Quintile 1 that has scored less than 50% pass rate. This confirms our commitment that the only way to break the backbone of poverty is through education. We have managed to ensure that there is no single learner in these poor areas that cannot move out of our Matric classes without a pass. We are also impressed, Minister and Honorable Premier, that 80% of all our schools have performed above between 70%. So 80% of our schools are within the 70 and 100% bandwidth of our performance, meaning that we have ensured that majority of our schools are above that 70% pass mark. We have taken a conscious decision with the Premier that as from this year in 2016, that all our schools must be above the 80% threshold so that we can be in a position to achieve the goals that we have set as a province. We are quite excited with the number of distinctions that we have achieved as well. And we want to thank those particular schools that attended the SIP program. Because out of the SIP program, that targeted 70,000 grade 12 learners last year from 440 priority schools, almost 77.9% of SIP learners, they've passed the exams. So all those schools that attended Saturday school, winter schools, and additional classes, 77% of them, they've managed to pass all the exams, which simply means that the investment that we've made in this particular program is an investment worth it. We also want to thank our partners that have ensured in the private sector that have provided additional support to some of our learners and those institutions that have also invested in our schools and provided the relevant support. We want to make these announcements to all our learners in Gauteng. Every learner that has come position 1, position 2, and position 3 in their individual schools in all our townships in Gauteng, all these learners that have occupied position 1, 2, 3, as the provincial give them a bursary for 3 years at the school at the university of their choices. We want to harness talent, we want to support talent, and we want to close the skills gap in our province by investing in those learners that we believe they will invest back in. The Premier, in his State of the Province address, will also announce the investment that we are going to make as a province. All those learners that are moving from Gauteng to go to tertiary institutions in the next 3 years. The Premier will also announce the amount of money that we are going to invest as Gauteng to ensure that those that call for fees to fall, they must know that they've got a partner in the Gauteng provincial government. We believe our investment in education as a provincial government will also make it possible for our learners to get opportunities that they want to get as a province. We are also excited as a province that we are going to break the backbone of allocation of resources in our province. For the very, very first time, 6 of our schools, 3 pairs of our schools, they are going to share resources ranging from teachers, facilities, as well as resources that are available in these schools. As from the 1st of November 2015, Sundown High in Sentin and Alexander High in Alexander are going to be governed by one school governing body, making it possible for children from Alexander to access laboratories and library facilities in Sentin without being asked who they are and where they come from. This is a very important gesture from the provincial government and other partners of this program to ensure that our children are given the opportunities that they deserve. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Premier and members of the Executive Council for the support that they provide and the resources that they provide and the guidance that they always provide to us as a department. It was not easy, Honorable Premier, and I'm grateful that you gave us the support. You will recall this year, we lost, or our HOD moved, we lost the CFO, we lost 3 chief directors responsible for school support and other programs of the department. We even lost the spokesperson of the department as well, Premier. So for us to recover, to have a new HOD, new CFO, new DDGs, and new chief directors responsible for our programs, and still retain the position that we have occupied in the national results, indicate the support that you've provided us as the Executive Council. I want to thank the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee and members of the Portfolio Committee. I also want to thank the chairperson of the Education Committee, Professor Musona, for the guidance and the support that you always provide. I also want of the Congress of South African Students, members of the South African Democratic Teachers Unions and other teachers unions for the continued support that they provide to the department and the guidance that we have. I would be unfair to the school governing bodies that have continued to provide support and the school governing bodies that have always been there when we deal with issues that. I want to thank all the school governing bodies, but I really believe that the National Association of School Governing Bodies deserve a special mention for the commitment that they always provide. I want to thank the institutions that have believed in our ICT investment, Vodacom, MTN, and other companies that have invested their resources in this program. As a province, we believe that without your resources, we would have not made the mark that we have made. But I want to thank as well the entire leadership of the department and the new HOD. HOD reality dawned yesterday when the minister announced the results. And me and you, we know that Ampur is not enough for us in Gauteng. We don't mind to lose, but not to that province. And I'm hopeful that together we'll ensure that we will turn around the situation and ensure that Gauteng reclaim that number one spot rather than later. I want to thank all the district directors. It was very difficult. We used to have those 7 o'clock morning meetings to analyze the situation, but I want to assure all the district directors, don't panic, you enjoy my support, and I believe we can turn the corner. There are only 4 schools in Gauteng that have not performed well, and the 4 schools at the bottom of our performance, all of them are independent schools. We've asked the HOD and the team to attend to this matter without any failure to ensure that we resolve the problems that we have. I also want to thank all our stakeholders and also thank those people that have given us the investment and the support that we have. And I want to single out the Motsepe Foundation for the resources, the guidance, and the number of investment that they've made in our schools in Gauteng. And I want, on behalf of the department and the province premier, thank Mr. Trot Moloto, who's here, that is representing the Motsepe Foundation, for all the support and the resources that they've invested in this area. I know I risk losing my job, Premier. I know that the Motsepe Foundation, they brought their Telkom trophy here that they won as Mamelodi Sundowns. And I know they've got players that they came here as well. If you don't mind, I'll ask the players from Mamelodi Sundowns to stand up so that learners can understand that we achieve at all fronts in Gauteng. This. Professor Ntute Kiswanelo. Thanks to the team, and also thanks to the leadership of Sundowns, the leadership of Motsepe Foundation for the support that they provide all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me. We can say whatever we want to say. Without teachers, we are nothing. These results belong to all the teachers in Gauteng. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, and I want to say to every teacher in the province, you have made us proud. Without you, we are empty. Education is nothing without teachers. And as long as those that are doing good continue to increase, those that are doing bad will change their attitude. So I want to thank every teacher from every corner of our. Without you, we are meaningless. I also want to thank all our principals. It has been a difficult year, a painful year on issues that we needed to introduce because of our new vision as a provincial government. And I'm glad that all of you, without exception, we have embraced our new approach to education in this province. I want to thank those particular principals that have embraced our common examination program and those that have relinquished their holidays so that they can be part of training, so that when we introduce paperless classroom to grade 11 this year, all our teachers will have gone through training and they've made the resources available to all the principals. So I want to thank all the principals and thank everyone for them to give in support. But let me also thank the NGOs that have been giving us a hard time. But in Gauteng, we believe that partnership is very important. I want to thank Equal Education. I want to thank Section 27 and other NGOs that have always made it possible for us to work together. We don't want to claim to know everything in Gauteng. And some of the roles that are played by some of the NGO enhances partnership that will ensure that our children benefit. As long as it's a partnership that will ensure that our children benefit, you can count on our support as the Gauteng government. So I want to thank all those NGOs that have made it possible. And I also want to thank members of the media for their continued support and for them to provide all the relevant assistance that we need to convey our message as the provincial government. As I conclude, this year marks the 40th anniversary of June 16. We can say with confidence that the class of 1976 will be proud of the gains that we've made to establish a truly equal, equitable education system characterized by quality and performance in Gauteng. We commit ourselves to ensure that we celebrate the 40th anniversary of June 16 in Gauteng and change the landscape of education in our province. We can join hands as learners, parents, educators, administrators, and policy makers and celebrate a victory for our children and our country in the spirit of the youth who strived and died in Soweto and across the country, who taught us that education is the foundation of which we must build a just and a prosperous South Africa. I want, therefore, to send to all our learners my heartfelt congratulations. You are the builders of our future. We are very proud of you, and thank you so much for choosing to be in Gauteng. Premier, quality education will happen in our lifetime, in our province. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gents, let's hear it one more time for the MEC of Education, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi.
Thank you for that insightful speech, MEC. More importantly, thank you for investing in our youth. MEC knows my story, and he knows how personal this is for me to hear number 1, 2, and 3 out of the township schools shall be given bursaries. The hope that you are giving the families, the hope that you are giving the kids is invaluable. My mother was a domestic worker. My father was a male nurse. And without the same kind of investment, without having people who believed in them, who understood that sometimes education is the only thing you have to better your current circumstance, I wouldn't be standing on the stage today. My mother and father were fortunate and had sponsors who took them out of South Africa, because at the time the current government did not allow black people to have an education higher than grade 12. Today I'm proud to say my mother is a language practitioner in the office of the presidency with a master's degree qualification from being a domestic worker. And I'm also proud to say that my father, who was a male nurse, now has his master's in psychology, like you, young man, and travels the world representing the United Nations as a psychologist for the United Nations. It is because they demanded less from me and my sisters that I stand in front of you today. I urge you to dream, young man, young woman, and I urge you to be unapologetic about your dreams. In fact, when your dreams scare you, those are the dreams you need to chase even more. Because the only deterrent to any kind of prejudice, and this is something Mom Oprah Winfrey says all the time, to safeguard yourself from any kind of prejudice, whether it's poverty, whether it's racism, whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's your creed, the only deterrent is excellence. And Jay-Z, a rapper that we all love so very much, often talks about that excellence. And he says, how does a white man or white woman teach his or her son to hate me when they are in love with my excellence? And how do I teach my daughter to hate a Chris Martin? Because she can't, because of his excellence. So take today, march on till tomorrow, and understand that you are deemed to be excellent by virtue of being in this room. And Peziwe, with your 8 distinctions, thank you for not allowing your circumstance to be your definition. Thank you for understanding that education is not only your weapon, but is your gift to the rest of South Africa and to younger Peziwes who find themselves in your situation. They don't have a place to live. They are in a different province, but understand to achieve my greatness, to be the excellence that is bestowed upon me, I have to make the sacrifices and possibly live with my teacher. I say before I ask our premier to come onto our stage to address us this morning, give yourselves another round of applause. You inspire us. Premier, Mr. Makura, please could you come and address us this morning? Our premier's just said he's very proud of me for not crying this morning.
Certainly, I was worried that she's going to start crying. You know, those of you who watch her, she cries out of the slightest provocation. Thank you very much, Unati and Brampo. You know, when he pronounces this name, Mpo, any wonder, you can hear he does it with power because it's his name. Thank you very much, guys, for presiding over this. I just want to start first by saying that today belongs to our stars. We just want to do those things that need to be done by us who hold some official positions. But we look forward to our stars. Minister of Basic Education, Honorable Njimutsecha, the MEC for Education, MEC Panyaza Lisufi, MEC Mulebatsi Bupape, the executive mayors who are here from our municipalities, both the districts as well as the metros, the chairperson of our portfolio committee in the legislature, Honorable John Bisi, and the members of the committee who are attending today, leaders of political parties, which include the alliance, and opposition parties who are here with us, the representatives of trade unions, the governing bodies, associations, student organizations, and civil society groups, the DG of our province, Ms. Pindile Baleni, the head of department and senior officials in our government, distinguished learners, parents, and teachers, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by welcoming you to 2016. I know you have already arrived in 2016, but welcome to 2016. Welcome yourselves. Welcome to 2016. And say 2016 has started once more with a bang, because in our province, in Gauteng, that's how we start 2016. We start it with a bang. And how do we start 2016 with a bang? And we do that with every year. We start that year with a bang. We look forward to this period when the matric results will be announced. We don't dip our heads in shame, Minister. We don't do that. We look forward to it because we know that our youth, our young people, our learners, our teachers, the entire public education system in our province will make us proud. So in the Gauteng City region, as we start this year, we do so with a deep sense of pride. As the humble and loyal servants of the people of our province, we commend all our learners and the schools and the districts that have done well this year. We commend our education department, led by the capable MEC Panyaza Lesufi, who I still want to insist that is the best MEC for education in the Republic of South Africa. Although our colleagues in the Western Cape have pipped us from position 1 by half a percentage point, we congratulate them heartily for having done so. Like a game between Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, and please forgive me, Sundowns. You know, I don't mind as a Chiefs supporter to lose to Sundowns, but I can't lose to Orlando Pirates. And I know that's what Orlando Pirates supporters feel. But when they've won fairly. If as a Chiefs supporter, when Orlando Pirates has won, we say, well done, Orlando Pirates, we meet you next time. So the rivalry between us and the Western Cape is a healthy rivalry. We are rivals in everything, in every part of governance, in how to run government, how to deliver the best results. We are rivals. And we are not enemies, we are just rivals. And that competition is healthy, it keeps us awake, it keeps them awake. When we do something well, they want to know how did Gauteng get it right. When they do something well, we want to know how did they get it right. And we think, Minister, it's healthy to have this type of competition in our system of government as well. I know, mayors, you also work on that note. The fact that you are in Gauteng, we don't expect you to be behind when we look at municipalities in our country, the performance of municipalities. So that's very, very important. I want to repeat a few things for purposes of emphasis. The first one is that although we are number 2 in the country's 2015 matric results, as it has been explained, but we in Gauteng, the first thing is that we are number 1 in the performance of the system as a whole. The MEC indicated in the top 5 districts, we have 3 districts. And in the top 10, we have 7 districts. That's a very important indicator of the performance of the system. And that's something that we in Gauteng strive for. We're striving to change the system to deliver better quality education. The second indicator of our work is how we are doing with regard to township schools. There's no number, it's incomparable between us and the Western Cape. Firstly, by size, the public education system in Gauteng is anchored principally on 70% schools come from what we used to call disadvantaged backgrounds. And these are the schools that are making us very, very proud. And we have the large number of matriculants. And the performance of our township schools are the ones that pull us up, because we do very well with the schools in the suburbs. That must continue to do well. We want those schools to do well. Make no mistake about it. We don't want them to fall when the fees fall. We want the suburban schools to continue to rise. We want the township schools to rise even faster as we do that. So in that sense, we are incomparable. The number of learners who get distinctions, which is something the MEC was announcing, you will see even with the awards. The number of learners who come from township schools, who get to do well, is how we measure the progress of post-apartheid education. How are we doing in those areas that we would have been doing very well? 30 years ago, would have been doing very badly. 30 years ago, 1985, there was almost no schooling in the townships. Well, how are we doing 30 years later? The township schools and township learners are the stars of the public education system in Gauteng province. So that's how we're measuring ourselves. Very, very important. We're also measuring ourselves on the quality of outcomes. How many bachelors are we producing? MEC reported to you earlier, 26% of the bachelor passes is our contribution to you, Minister. This is to you. You take that, you see, add up there, others may pull you down, but we want to pull you up. That 26% is to you. The 91,000 pass that we have achieved, 91,000 learners who have passed this year is also a contribution to you, Minister. So worry about the others. Yes, we need your support. No doubt about it. Politically, we need your support. And when you intervene here, don't worry that we will always support your interventions. But spend more energy to help our counterparts in KZN and the Eastern Cape and the Limpopo to pull you up rather than pull you down. That's our contribution as well. We are doing extremely well also with the quality of education amongst the learners with disability. We are the best province in that regard. I know that statistic did not come out, MEC, as you were speaking as well. We are the best province even with regard to learners with disability, their performance in the country. So that's very, very important for us. But Gauteng province is a difficult province. And I want to warn you, those of you our learners are graduating high school. Yes, in the US they call it graduating. Although in our case, you graduate only from university, the mayor of Ekurhuleni. But in the US, this is graduating. As you graduate, you are graduating in a province that has got major, major challenges. One of them is we attract every month 10,000 people move into Gauteng. So they compete with you about the positions in the education system and also at work. We are rapidly urbanizing province. So there are challenges in this regard. We currently have about 13 million people. So you have to be even better. That's why even with learners, with workers, we want to produce the best. So if you think you have made it, you have only begun, just begun. Because we also attract some of the best graduates in universities and the best learners from elsewhere in the country. All the best are coming to a province like ours. We are happy about that. But the challenge with this, with rapid urbanization is that it puts pressure on our schools. Every year we plan for so many learners and 10,000 more want to come, including those who come from neighboring provinces just to receive tablets and go back immediately after they've received a tablet. That's a problem. We also have challenges with our healthcare system. The pressure in our hospitals, the pressure in our schools, the pressure in housing delivery. But we're not complaining about it. We are equal to the task. And I want to assure you we are equal to the task. We're going to be dealing with these issues with the greatest of urgency, and that's what we do. And at this point, I want to say, MEC Lesufi, that you and your team has once more made us proud. Our greatest worry this year, me as the Premier, when we introduced ICT in education, and I went to a few schools with you, I saw the excitement amongst the learners and the teachers, but I was worried. Even the most progressive change does cause disruption. I was worried that we might drop even by a percentage point as the system is adapting to the introduction of ICT. So we have held the fort, MEC. Don't worry about the game with Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs. We have held the fort. We have introduced ICT in education. The minister says we are even leading national in this regard. And this year, the system will stabilize. So we expect, we expected to improve this year, but we expect in 2016, the class of 2016 to pull us up again. But you guys have done us very well. I know this is your language, you guys. We never said when you tweet to each other, even the girls to each other, they say you guys. I know this is your language. You are cool, guys, you are cool. Say to your neighbor, you are cool, you are cool. Say you look cool today. Say it to your neighbor then. Because to be cool is to be clever. You are the clever ones. And in Gauteng, we do need the clever ones. We need the clever ones in schools. We also need the clever ones in workplaces, at work. We need the smart children. We are not just a smart province. We also need smart workers like you. So we are investing in you. The MEC was saying, I'll say how much. This year we are spending 280 million to help. Last year we supported 2,500 learners. This year we are spending 280 million to help those of you from number 1, 2, 3 who have done well to go to university. And my message to you when you go to university is simple, is that you have done us proud in school, but go to university and do us more proud. University is not just the same as school, guys. This is my warning. You hear me? It's not like school. By the end of the year, next year, you will be agreeing with me. You don't know now. The demands are greater and the freedom is more. And you might be free in the wrong direction, away from your studies. So it's very, very important that you go in higher education, focus on your work, because we want you, especially those of you who are doing those areas of study that our country's economic development and social development needs most. We want you back to in the system to support our transformation objectives. Education is the greatest investment that any nation can ever make. And education is the most decisive and single act of development, personal development and national development. So without education, as has been said earlier on, we will be nothing. Without education, you will be nothing. So it's for your sake, but it's also for the sake of our nation that we must invest more in education, that you must invest your time and energy in education. We are proud of the interventions, Minister, that we are doing in the system. Good results don't just come on the eve of it. From grade 1 in Gauteng province, I want to repeat a statistic that is very important. Those who started grade R in 2003 and wrote the Matric, which is you, 77% of them were not lost to the system. They graduated. And I use the word graduation deliberately. 77% of those who started grade 1 in 2003 have not been lost to the system. They have passed in our province. And that's a very important statistic because from time to time we are told that we focus only on Matric and we forget that we have lost 2/3 of the learners along the way. In Gauteng is the other way round. Actually, MEC, by 2019 we must be achieving more than 80% of the learners who start in grade R who complete Matric. Because we don't want the story that we only have 30% of those who start in grade 1 or grade R completing Matric. So that's a very important thing to realize. And in that regard, I would like to come to the conclusion by making one more important point. One more important point. I'm very proud as the Premier of Gauteng that the district mayors and the metro mayors who are here, also are passionate about education. Mayors, you may not be having the official responsibility on education, but I know, without exception, every one of you, personally, I know it personally. Not that you have said it anywhere. I know it personally. I know you know it yourselves. I know your own path of development personally, including the MEC. I know your own path of development. And I must tell them, you and I and many of them were in the student movement together. We did fees must fall long before the fees fallen. So we did that in university many years ago. But we need a leadership that's passionate about education. And the mayors who are here today are very committed. And I'm very proud, mayors, that every municipality in Gauteng has got one district in the top 10 of the country. So the 7 that we have are spread. They are found in every municipality in Gauteng. There's no single municipality that doesn't have one district in the top 10. So you make us proud, mayors. You make us very proud. But I want to return to thanking a number of people, starting with you, MEC. I want to declare here that your job is safe, MEC. In front, and it's based on merit and performance. It's not based on friendship. That MEC works, guys. The MEC works. MEC, you are giving good leadership to the department. HOD, you are new, I know, but you have been part of the system. And the reason we redeployed the other HOD is that he's going to help you sort out e-learning, because Boy Ngobeni is now the head of the e-governance and ICT. He knows that education is the key leader in rolling out e-governance. So you have not lost, MEC. You have not lost. You have an ally in that department to help you roll e-governance. All the officials in GDE, the senior officials who are from the DDGs, right up to district officials and all the workers in our Gauteng Department of Education. You make us very, very proud. And give a big round of applause to GDE officials and MEC Lesotho. Secondly, I really want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank the parents. You know, there can be no child, there can be no learner without parents. And parents are the source, whether educated or not. You guys have done well because of the support of your parents. Give your parents a big round of applause. Educated or not, they've given you support when you were still in your mother's womb. They gave you support. Now look how big you are. I mean, you are big, guys, man. You can see it yourself. Just look at yourself. How big? A few years ago, 10 years ago, you wouldn't think you will be so big. And we must say it's to the mothers. To the mothers, Sis Angie. To the mothers. To the mothers. This is to the mothers. I know we say parents, but it's mainly to the mothers. It's to the mothers. I want to thank the teachers. What will I be? I couldn't stand in front of you if it was not my primary school teacher and my secondary school teacher. You see, when you were talking, Unati, when you were talking, and almost crying now, it's MEC, you couldn't stand here with the confidence you have if it wasn't for your teacher. So this one is to the teachers. The teaching is the foundation of all careers and all professions. You can have no doctor without a teacher. You can't have a scientist without a teacher. You can have no pilot without a teacher. The people who often make the greatest impact in your life, so it's your parents and your teachers. The rest is history. So let's give a big round of applause to our teachers. I also want to join the MEC in commending civil society groups and our trade unions. And I'm saying here, qualified, the civil society groups and trade unions that are working with us to ensure there's progress to the benefit of the people of our province. Let's give them a big round of applause. The trade unions and civil society groups. We need your partnerships. We can't succeed on our own. And we also need your criticism, by the way. We need you to draw our attention to where we are not doing enough. Without that, we will not be the best province that we want to be. We need critical civil society. We need you when we get out of the way for you to say, this is the way. But let's do it in a way that is most constructive in order to move our province forward. Because, you know, Gauteng must always be the best in everything. We must be the best in governing this province. We must provide good governance. We must provide clean government. We must provide responsive government. We must provide the type of government that's activist out there on all the time, solving problems, interacting with people. There should be no single citizen in our province who does not feel the government, who has to go out and burn down schools and clinics because the government is not coming to the ground. And you can see we have a very active MEC. MEC is everywhere. I don't think there's a school that says we only see the MEC on TV. The principals, you have met with the MEC a few times. And I want on this note to say, we also have activist principals, MEC. The percentage will grow. There are a few who are not as activists. So this one is to the principals. A big round of applause to our principals. A big round of applause. Because we want responsive principals as well. We want activist principals. We want to run clean government in our schools. No corruption amongst SGBs. Ramulefo, member Ramulefo, you and the MEC always fight about this. So corruption is something we must ban from every part of our province. We want a corruption-free province. If there's corruption in SGBs, MEC, we will deal with them. If there's an SGB that knows it is corrupt, we are on your way. On our way to you, we are on your case. Because corruption is something we must get rid of out of our system in this province. On that note, I want to salute, lastly, all the learners who have made us proud. Lastly, and most importantly, I think let's give a big round of applause, and I request a standing ovation to these children. Not you. You sit down. We are doing that standing ovation for you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. So guys, you are very important. You got a standing ovation today. You must never forget this. If you do something in life to disappoint the people who gave you a standing ovation today, just remember that. We are watching where you're going in life. It's not over with us. So you have not gotten rid of us. We are following everything you are going to be doing in life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Makura. Thank you so much, Premier Makura. I'm trying to steal your shine, Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the Premier of Gauteng, Mr. David Makura. See, to the Premier, when I grow up, I want to be like you guys. And you know, it's when you're up here and you learn how to speak, guys, it's about tactic. I admire what MEC did when he said, you know, the youth of 76 would have been proud of the youth. He didn't say we would have been proud of you. And you know, to the Premier and the MEC, you guys mentioned being part of Fees Must Fall before it even came, you know. And what I found most people did during that time is they compared the youth of 76 to the youth of 2015. And yes, it was the same fight, give or take, but there were certain things that were different, that couldn't be the same. If you listen to the struggle songs of 76, they were completely different to the struggle songs of 2015. Because in 76, they were singing, Senzeni na, iyo, Senzeni na. For those of you who don't understand, what have we done, iyo? What have we done? What have we done? What have we done? But as I was watching the protests last year, I could see some of the students going, I can't feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it. So it's a different time, ladies and gents. Ladies and gentlemen, educators, educatees, overachievers, you guys. You know, you were saying it was because of our teachers that we learned how to come and speak. But it was by force. Because you'd be in class playing, Paul, come and read, yo. In front of the class, you must come, tuck in your shirt, One day, Empo, once upon a time, once upon a time. And we thank you for that, teachers. We thank you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be standing up here today, so we thank you. Ladies and gents, it gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce your next speaker. A beautiful lady, ladies and gentlemen. A wonderful lady. A lady who is the Minister of Basic Education. Ladies and gents, please put your hands together and help me welcome on stage Ms. Angie Motshekga. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mpo. I said you must be careful. Somebody got into trouble by calling somebody baby. So it's safe to say meh, and then you are safe. You won't go to the equality court. So program director, really it isn't my intention to give a speech. But let me acknowledge the protocol that has already been established by the MEC and also the Premier. Acknowledge the Premier and the entire executive of Gauteng, the mayors present here, leaders of the sector, your teacher unions that are here. Also acknowledge the presence of your school governing bodies which are here, our learner organizations, but more important, our learners. Thank you very much, and let's really give you this special day and respect, but also thank the parents. It's not easy raising children, is it not so? The mayor of the West Rand is showing me some messages from young people. They're busy sending messages, Mama, I made it. All of them are saying, so I'm sure you're also very proud and you want to go home and celebrate and look at these distinctions. But I must say, Premier, I'm extremely excited. I have no intention of giving a speech, but to really thank Gauteng in particular, not because it's a home province, perhaps it is, but for all the points that you've raised with us, just leading and pulling not only the Gauteng, but the sector. Because when Gauteng pulls, everybody pulls. When Western Cape pulls, the whole sector pulls. And there's a number of things which I can raise also about how Gauteng has even helped the sector, because we're not educating children of Gauteng, we're educating children of the nation. And on many instances, Gauteng has led in a very big way, and I'm really proud to say, and Palana, people who don't know, you know, it's an idiom in Sotho saying the wisdom of a big buck is in the small one, because you can see lions from far and say, let's stand here, there are the enemies coming forward. So the young ones in Gauteng are really making us run, but they're also showing the direction nationally. On many fronts, Premier, not only in the ICTs. For instance, when we had difficulties interpreting and understanding what was happening with grade 9 results, it was Gauteng which profiled and gave us information which helped us also to remedy the system, because they themselves went to conduct research. So they have data-driven programs. It's not a surprise that it's not only that in the top 20 of districts, half come from Gauteng nationally. And for us, it's a good indicator. And I can share with you, every quarter I meet district directors. And these directors here, I can see most of them, are a resource also nationally. Because they provide information that we're able to use as a sector, but other provinces also use. Move forward. They bring with them tools of analysis which we're able to use as a sector, which helps us to pull the sector forward. So any success in Gauteng for us is a success nationally, because it helps the nation to move on. Because you're quite right that in terms of quality indicators, because that's where we want to move to. You're quite right that Gauteng gave us more bachelor degree passes, but even in terms of supporting progress learners, which is a big risk we took, most MECs were very unhappy about it. I knew that it could cost me my job, because what happened if results could have gone at 50? I mean, really, I was going to have to run myself and not expect to be to be told to run. I would have had to do the honorable thing, really, if it went beyond, because it's a risk we took. It's a risk we took. I hear analysis to say we bolstered numbers to have, it's actually a big risk. If we're opportunistic premier, we could have said, this is election year, no trouble, no nonsense, don't take to grade 12 any child who doesn't stand to pass because I want an 80% pass. But we felt what is important is learners, not ourselves as politicians, not the image of our party, and that they, and no dear, you will be chasing that. Okay. I said, it's sorry, it's alone. The jigger didn't tell Sally the Becca Silla alone. Every toilet straight, any clear or is on the right. I saw. This is risky. We could have done it otherwise, but we felt that our kids are very important. Therefore, let's push the numbers and take the risk. And I think it's paid. Gauteng, for instance, a premier, of the progress learners, 47.4% of them passed. 47. It's almost half of them passed. And these will be learners who will not have written this year. I keep on saying it. And most of them, it's kids who will have said, just go and find something else to keep you busy. Because that's what we normally have to do, because if you fail, what do we do? You can't fail more than 3 times and still hope that you'll pass the 4th time. We just have to agree with you to say, go and try some way. But we didn't really give up on them. We said, hey, let's push even further. And I agree with the MEC when he thanked the teachers and principals, because they really had to run. I visit schools in my area. The principal of one school in my area even had to take them Ababeko Karachia High and run a boarding school, because at home there are distractions. She was doing from her own pocket, and this person is an ordinary school teacher. She had to buy sponges, get them to stay there. And you can imagine staying with teenagers, that there's also games that you have to manage in the process, because these are growing people. So as you look at books, you have to look at everything else and make sure that things are going well. So I'm really proud of the Gauteng province, but I'm standing here to... The world is opening before you. You've demonstrated that you are the best of the best in the country. So which means you expect more. It's pressure. We didn't make it. That's what you did on your own, to prove that with the many learners we registered this year, you still remain the best of the best. We're very proud of you. We really look forward to greater things from you. But to parents, you've really made us proud, because these are not only your children, these are the children of the nation. That's why even as government, we feel we should support the province, and I'm very grateful that there is support from the province, that these are our future leaders. They have to run our economy, they have to promote democracy, they have to promote the values and the principles that we've been teaching them at schools. And to parents, we say we're very grateful to them. That Elsuf is right. We can say all we say. I can say I'm happy about the results. I didn't even teach one subject. It's the teachers who did all the slog work. Even when journalists want to blame teachers, I'm saying, why should I blame them for the 30%? Why don't I thank teachers for the 70%? Because this 70% comes from the hands of teachers. We're from Ivory Park, MEC. It's a no-fee school, which means mahala, hala, hala. Free books, no fees. One of the learners, a very young girl, 7 distinctions. We're proud of that. Because indeed we want all South African children from all racial groups, from all social backgrounds, to get equal opportunities for quality education. And we're very encouraged because in the analysis that we it's beginning to show that we're closing the gap between the performance of learners coming from affluent communities and learners coming from poor communities, because it's been a big struggle to lift of problems and social ills that are in that area. And with you, I'm very grateful to our mayors. Mayors of Gauteng are really something else. They don't say education is not their mandate. When I speak to Comrade Modi talking about schools, he really knows what I'm talking about. I speak to, say hi to my nephew, Kosienzo. When we talk about education, we are agreeing. And same with now, I was even saying I want to go and open in your district, but now I'm being controlled by Keraki Getset's Maki. Because these mayors in Gauteng, we are right, Premier, do their bit. But as I said, for me, to our young learners, to our young people, we're very proud of you. We're very grateful of the achievements. You represent many other learners who've made it under very difficult conditions. You've outdone us. Because we said yesterday, year after year, we're increasing the cognitive demands of papers. And some of you, whether we increase or pull hard, you get full marks. Whether we mix maths this way or the other way, you get full marks. And we're very proud and very encouraged, and you give us great hope. And to parents, please continue supporting them. This is a gem of the nation. These are the best that we have, and we look forward to greater things from yourselves. But Natali Sufi, thank you very much. Premier, so palana ya re bontsha re ha re enka mo skera ya ka mo, and for that we're very grateful and we're humbled by his great contributions to the sector. Indeed, he's making not only an impact in Gauteng, but nationally. Zazwakala iziki zakhe ukuthi ufikile umkoni kuyazwakala nationally, and for that siyabonga.
Ladies and gentlemen, students, let's hear it one more time for our Minister of Basic Education, Mama Angie Mocheka.
We have one musical item that we want to offer you before we get into the reason why we're here to hand out all the incredible awards for these overachievers that have made us so proud. We'd like to welcome the GDE choir onto stage to give us one item, and then we get to the official part of the program, which is honoring the incredible schools with regards to the best bachelor passes. GDE choir, if you can come onto stage, please. Honoring the best performances in terms of learners as well. We're going to take the award ceremony and announce from third position, second position to first position. We request that only the first position winners come up onto the stage to receive their certificates. They shall be awarded with either a certificate or a trophy from the MEC. And we'd also like you to stand, don't be shy, take a picture, pose, because this moment shall be documented forever.
Forever.
And ever.
And smile, guys. No pouting, no... Smile.
Selfie, Nyana.
So of course there's going to be selfies. I'm taking selfies.
Can we? Are we keeping it casual?
Yes. Of course, yes.
Ladies
and gentlemen, back from the recent international tour. Ladies and gentlemen, the GDE choir have been performing all over the world. In places like East London,
Paris.
Ladies and gents, without further ado, and the smallest piano I've ever seen, ladies and gents, please put your hands together for the GDE choir.